joining with Elizabeth Warren, telling the Democratic members, in effect, I'm not voting for it, neither should you. Notice, however, Pelosi did not invoke a full Democratic whipping operation saying, don't vote for this, the party demands that you not vote for it. She didn't go into action. And it turned out that although Pelosi voted against it, Steny Hoyer voted for it, Clyburn voted for it, Congressman Delaney here in the Washington suburbs, a financier, he voted for it. Marcy Kaptur voted for it. That's really distasteful. And apparently the way that this provision, reopening the federal coffers to the hands of the zombie bankers, that was put in there by Barbara Mikulski of Maryland, right? The supposed blue collar. She says she's the only blue collar member of the Senate. Well, this is not very blue, is it, Mikulski? So that leaves a very, very bad taste. So Obama, Biden saying vote for it. Pelosi saying I'm not voting for it. So it did pass, and the 67 votes that Boehner lost were almost made up by the 57 Democrats that he gained. So everybody's saying, oh, what a profile in courage by Elizabeth Warren. Well, I'm afraid not. Just a couple of little things first. When she came on, I guess MSNBC or one of these cable programs, and to explain what was happening, she was asked, who put this in there? And she said, the Republicans. Well, yeah, it's a joint negotiation. There are House appropriators, but there are Senate appropriators too. And the head of the Senate Appropriations Committee has been Barbara Mikulski. So without Mikulski, it couldn't have gotten in there. And we also have to point to a monstrous group of 8 Democrats. We find out about this in Mother Jones back in April of 2013. Democrats are undermining Wall Street reform too, and I won't go through all the different things that they talk about, but the ringleader of this seems to be Jim Himes, Himes. Then we have Congresswoman Fudge, and the following names: Carney, Moore, Maloney, Peters, McIntyre, and Scott. This is the effete 8. And all of them have come forward in some way or other proposing to water down the already pathetically weak barriers erected by Dodd-Frank, if it ever comes into effect, because it's being fought at every stage and will undoubtedly now be sabotaged further by these Republicans. So Elizabeth Warren fudged it by saying that the Republicans were the only ones who put it in. It's a combination of Mikulski and then this other elite, the effete 8 group. And now, of course, what do? Elizabeth Warren is like saying, I'll be leading you from behind. House Dems, you go into the breach, but I'm back here in the Senate. What I'm demanding, is a filibuster. I want to see Elizabeth Warren get up there and match or exceed little Rand Paul or Ted Cruz or any other reactionary Republican who's been standing up there on whatever issues they had. I want to see Elizabeth Warren stand up there, be like that woman in the Texas legislature who stood up all night to filibuster some bill, I guess it was an abortion bill in that case, that she didn't like. Let's see Elizabeth Warren get in there and fight and be acrimonious. Not bipartisan, but acrimonious, the kind of thing that some of her petty bourgeois, good government, prim supporters don't like. And I want to see Bernie Sanders with her. I want to see the team of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders get in there, and then I want to see them bring in people like Sherrod Brown, that wonderful populist, he says, from Ohio, or Merkley from Oregon. Those guys are supposedly big enemies of derivatives. Let's see it. Stand up and filibuster. Fight, damn you. And, of course, if they don't, if Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and these others do not, Then we realize what we're dealing with here, that this is a dog and pony show, that this is a right, or in this case, the left wing of the Hillary Clinton campaign. We saw in the previous cycle, how Romney needed a left wing man and a right wing man. The right wing man happened to be little Ron Paul, the leprechaun. But on the left wing, it was that guy Huntsman. So he had blockers going for him. He had wingmen on both sides, and I think Hillary has that now in the form of Elizabeth Warren. So don't give your heart to Elizabeth Warren. Let's see her fight. Now, in terms of what we are dealing with here, we're going to be very critical of Elizabeth Warren because we have to be. First of all, MoveOn.org. MoveOn.org, notoriously coming from the Soros orbit, has now had their online referendum, and they're going to be backing Elizabeth Warren. So I say, if the campaign for Elizabeth Warren in New Hampshire and other places, which she still disavows, right? She says this is not her. This is other people, self-starters that she can't control, that she doesn't coordinate with. If MoveOn.org provides her campaign in New Hampshire, I can guarantee you who's going to control her administration if she ever became president. And that person is Soros. George Soros would control an Elizabeth Warren administration. Reminds me a little bit of Zephyr Teachout in New York State in the gubernatorial race, just the previous month now. Zephyr Teachout was officially on the board, the advisory board of the Soros group of foundations. So that doesn't look too good. Don't give your heart away to that. And we've also seen how Elizabeth Warren started with a promising proposal to finance, not to refinance, I'm afraid, but just to finance for 1 year student loans at 0.75% through the discount window of the Federal Reserve. And she dropped that like a hot potato when the bigwigs of the Democratic Party said no, cease and desist. Notice now that Elizabeth Warren is technically in the Democratic Senate leadership with Harry Reid and Durbin and Schumer and Patty Murray and the rest of them. So this is a very dubious proposition. Don't go down that road. We'll be back in a minute.
This holiday season, give the gift that keeps on giving, an in-home freeze dryer from Harvest Right. With your very own freeze dryer, you'll be able to freeze dry the food your family loves. Because we live in uncertain, difficult times, what better way to show your love for your family than to buy them a gift that helps them preserve food they can use now or in 25 years. Go to harvestright.com and find out how you can get your in-home freeze dryer. Layaway is available. That's harvestright.com.
Are you hungry for delicious, nutritious, rich, and satisfying home-cooked meals? Discover the Vita Clay 4-in-1 Smart Organic Cooker. Unglazed Zisha Clay, an ancient secret that makes this fast multi-cooker so special. Infusing your food with incredible flavors, perfect texture, vitamins, and minerals for your good health. It's a slow cooker, rice cooker, a steamer, plus a yogurt maker. Go to VitaClayChef.com and enter promo code RADIO20 for 20% off at checkout. That's VitaClayChef.com.
Time waits for no one. That's why you should hurry to not miss the Freeze Dry Guy's end-of-year case lot sale. Go to freezedryguy.com or call 866-404-3663 to receive 20 to 25% off Mountain House freeze-dried foods. Mountain House, the gold standard in long-term storage products, include real freeze-dried meats, entrees, eggs, fruits, and vegetables. Yes, 20 to 25% off now. Also receive 30% off other selected Mountain House foods and receive 30% off selected Packaway brand dehydrated foods. foods. Just call 866-404-3663 and ask for the freeze-dry guy. Plus, long-range patrol ration eggs and ham at superb discounts. But these are extremely hard to find and nearly gone, so call today. Ask about our LRP ice cream bars, too. Some items limited to stock on hand. And remember, the freeze-dry guy pays for shipping to your door within the lower 48 states. Order now. Don't miss out on the freeze-dry guy's end-of-year case lot sale. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com. For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey Guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even if I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GC.
Sure, I'll readjust that.
The third segment of World Crisis Radio, and once again, it's St. Lucy's Day, the 13th of December. We're recording on the 12th. All right, so here's what we want. Let's have the litmus test for Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, both of them presidential candidates, and that guy, Jim Webb. He can also join in, right? He's not in the Senate anymore, but he can support them. He can come and hold their coat. He can come on the Senate floor. He's an ex-senator. Here's what we want. We want a filibuster. Filibuster the Cromnibus, unless and until the FDIC open door to be looted by Citibank and zombie banks, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and, of course, J.P. Morgan. We want that filibustered. That's for you, Elizabeth Warren, and you, Bernie Sanders. We also want Elizabeth Warren to stop pretending that the Republicans are the only ones doing this stuff. How about Himes, Fudge, Carney, Moore, Maloney, Scott, Peters, McIntyre, Wall Street Democrats, the absolute essence of Wall Street Democrats. And then, here's the other problem. The rhetoric from the Democrats is, oh, Wall Street zombie bankers, you can go ahead and speculate with credit default swaps if you want to, but you can't do it with public FDIC insurance. Yeah, okay, but credit default swaps are derivatives. They're illegal. And here's why. A credit default swap is one of two things. It's either gambling or it's insurance. If it's gambling, then the zombie bank that puts them out, or hedge fund hyena, that zombie institution is essentially functioning as a gambling casino, but it doesn't have the right, it doesn't have the license to be a gambling casino. Same thing on the insurance side. If it's insurance, Well, you don't have the prerequisites to be an insurance company. You're not registered. You don't have reinsurance. You don't have any of that. And the people who are dealing in this have no insurable interest. You can't simply take out, in the old practice, you can't be at an arm's length from afar and say, I'm going to put a $1 million life insurance policy